Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today I'm going to go over uh, an issue that happened yesterday. Um, I was working on the drill press, doing the modifications to the drill press, and the first thing that started my day off was my grinder went down. Uh, Throwed a breaker, and I went and hit the breaker again, and throwed it immediately after I turned the grinder back on, and so I went and flipped the breaker again, and that time I heard a weird noise across the shop. So I went over to investigate, and I'd been having problems with the breaker anyway. Apparently the breaker is weak, but it's a good thing it was weak. I was going to replace it, and I've been trying to replace or thinking about replacing it, and I'm actually glad I didn't, because the weaker breaker caused me to not have any problems when this happened. But we've got the grinder on the bench here, and we're going to take it apart and see what happened, and see if maybe I can salvage this Black & Decker pecker wrecker. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started on this and see what's going on. So let's go ahead and flip this thing upside down. It's a Black & Decker. The thing is so messed up that I can't tell what it says. But we're going to turn it upside down here, and we're going to take this apart and see what happened. Well, immediately we see what happened. Look at that. Wow. Check that out. That thing looks like it exploded. That's what it sounded like too. That goes to the light. This one's to the grinder itself. So look, even piece over there. That's a piece of plastic that melted. Little piece of switch over there. It's a good thing I put that padding up against there, and that's probably what was smoking the most, is that padding. But I'm going to change that. I'm going to put rubber there instead. Or, I don't know, maybe something else. So I guess now we've got to find us a switch. But first, before I do that, I'm going to take this loose. Take all this out of here. And probably just tape that off and check the grinder, make sure the grinder is okay. Wow, that is messed up. That is wild how that done that. That's alright, I can use these nuts off of it. And hopefully I can use it for the other switch if I can find one. I don't think I have any more of these switches left, so we may end up putting this together. Actually, I'll probably just wire the light in with the grinder switch. That way every time I use the grinder it comes on, instead of having to switch it on all the time. So that's a good possibility I can do that. like them separated. But we're going to tape this up and we're going to try it out. Well, I'm kind of hoping that this grinder's okay. This thing has restored my 79 Ford, my Jeep. This thing's done a lot of work for me. Kind of would miss it. Make sure no wires got burnt. I don't see any. So let's plug this in and see what happens. All right, man. Cool. So I guess now my next order of business is to take this thing apart, clean it up. Now last time I mounted this to the bench, I kind of tightened that one a little too tight and broke it. And I'd like to fix that. I mean, it's not really necessary because I don't use this to mount anything down but to these bolts here, because I've got this swivel mount that I made that I'd rather keep on it. This way if I want to turn it out in the walkway to use it, I can. And I just used of course I'm going to use a different swivel mount. This one is sideways, if you know. You can see this side here is higher than this, so it's kind of offset. And I didn't like that, so I've got another one here that I found that is straight. So it'll make your grinder level instead of cocked forward. Anyway, until then, stay tuned. Alright, I found a switch. I don't have the screw-on handle that goes on it, but this will work fine. Till I can get me another toggle switch. So we'll go ahead and put this one on there and just fix it and get it back up in operations. Gotta have my grinder. And believe it or not, this one's been a good one. Yes, it's a cheap one, Black & Decker, but I have to put it in there a little sideways, but there ain't a whole lot of room in there. Y'all like my fancy t-shirt ace bandage? It makes my arm or my hand look like it's worse than it really is. I just got a big old spot there where they froze that bad place off, and it just it kept draining. They told me that I would have to bust a blister and drain it, and once I busted it, it just kept watering up, so I didn't want it all over everything. So to make it look better and to keep it from getting on everything, I figured I'd better just go and cover it up. And it protects it from the shop. Alright, now I've got to find a nut for it. That means I'm going to have to use this one. This is, I've had a lot of metal on this wire wheel. So, hate to see that one go. I've had that in a long time, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to find me a new one like that one. I happened to cross that one. The only thing bad about this Black & Decker is it doesn't have a way to hold the spindle so you can tighten them up. Alright, let's see how out of balance it is. And it's not. Light works. Alright, so now we're going to put the base on it, and I'm going to be done with it. I'm not going to restore it. I just want to go ahead and get it back in operation, and I might take some steel wool and just kind of clean it up a little bit. Other than that, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. I'm going to be in the market looking for a new one. I need 3 of them anyway. I want to use the one I restored, the Montgomery Wards, for a couple buffing wheels. Alright, well, that concludes the Black & Decker grinder fixer upper thingy-bob. You guys have a good one. I'm Bob. Later.